was actually brought up as a Manchester City fan by my father, who would have nothing red allowed in the house. But then I discovered girls a little bit later in my teens, and the girls that I discovered were actually lottery ticket sellers at Stockport County. So I ended up coming here and then never looked back, much to my father's dismay.
Oh, I've done a bit of county fan all my life. When I was very, very little, my grandma used to bring me down here on a match day, and when they opened the gates to let people out, she'd take me in to watch the last 10 minutes of the game for free. And then, you know, my dad and my uncles used to bring me. So I've been a bit of county fan since the mid-50s.
The away end at Telford, at the Bucks Head, their old ground, County Adam in the FA Cup. I think we were delighted with a 1-1 draw.
Yep.
And we discovered that we weren't very far away from each other. So I think from that time on, we we went to some away games with some other friends, and we started to see each other at county games.
Yeah, 2009, 2016, clearly a very difficult time for the football club. I missed quite a large part of that because when Brendan Elwood sold the club in 2003 to Brian Kennedy and Cheshire Sport, it became quite obvious that things weren't going to be the way they were, and none of the senior management really wanted to stay around and see all the things that we built actually get destroyed, and sadly that is what happened. And I ended up working in China, in fact building on the foundations that we'd laid as a club in China in the early part of the millennium. I came back then in 2014 when the club was really on its knees and looking in danger of going out of business. And we spent the next 2 years then really trying to convince the supporters that now you had people at the helm who were local people who were here for the good of the club. None of us were getting paid to do what we did. And it was difficult because the supporters expect us to get promoted. You know, we're in National League North.
A lot of the fans, especially of my generation, we were used to better times, you know. And I remember when I started commentating, we were going to the Stadium of Light, we were going to Sellers Park, we were going to Main Road and winning football matches. And then all of a sudden I'm at Colwyn Bay and Gainsborough and Vauxhall Motors. I mean, it's not even a town, is it? It's a factory, it's not even a place. But yeah, it was shocking, and I think the relationship was severely damaged, because the thing is, managers, players, directors, commentators will come and go. Fans are here all the time, and I think they felt that the club had certainly been mistreated.
I mean, the things I remember most is just a catalogue of errors from the management side. Letting someone take over the club before they'd actually provided proof of funds and administration and God knows what else. There was all sorts of strange things going on. But ultimately, obviously the club came through it and is coming back together. From our perspective, I think, although we both had younger families as well and both live in exile, the performances on the pitch probably didn't encourage us to go as often, so we still saw each other a few times every season, but probably not as often as we otherwise would have done.
Yeah, and I would say those years, oh my. Catalogue of errors, you're right, Jamie, absolute catalogue of errors. Sale sharks and having our pitch and seeming to owe us and having to play on a mud path, and then money disappearing, and oh, what an absolute mess.
Stockport County is one of those clubs, it's just, and I know everybody probably says it when they're involved with a football club, but there's something about Stockport County, whether you're a player, member of staff, once you've been involved with it, it's very difficult to leave. It was a really big wrench to walk away in the first place, and coming back was difficult because it looked like the soul had been ripped out of it. It wasn't the place that we left, but to then be able to play a role getting the club back where it belongs has been fantastic. And it doesn't take long when you're back to just get back into the swing of it, and the key was to make sure it started to feel like county again, because we'd lost a bit of that.
we started the season poorly, and then we went on a good run, and we were getting up to sort of catching up with first. You needed to be in first place for promotion from the National League North, and we played Spennymoor, and we set yet another new record attendance in Division 3 North, 6,500. The atmosphere was superb, especially when we scored and before the game. And I remember seeing the Spennymoor highlights on YouTube. The Spennymoor commentators could not believe what they had walked into. It was like nothing they had ever seen on at that level of football. The noise, just the sheer size of the crowd, the flags and all that sort of thing. It was just unreal to them.
Because we'd been in the doldrums, we got promoted in the playoffs in 2008. Then we went into administration and plummeted down. Eventually went into non-league. Then we went into the 6th tier, and it's just a downward trajectory. And then suddenly, we stopped going down and started coming back up, and it was absolutely magical.
I think because the club had been so starved of success, and there were genuine worries that the club was going to sink into oblivion. We've seen it happen. We've seen clubs not come back from that. So I think it was what made it special was the fact that we had turned that corner, and we were, the celebrations were just unbelievable, and to be able to come back to Edgley Park with that National League North trophy was just unbelievable. So to see the fact that the heart of the club was still beating, that was what was so encouraging.
At the time that the club had become sustainable, we were looking like getting promoted, which we did. There was a lot of interest because people could see we were carrying no debt other than to existing shareholders. There was no third-party debt. Terrific fan base. What an attraction to an investor when you look at the fan base that we have, getting 7,000 in National League North. So we had a lot of interest. Some of them fell away at the first hurdle, proof of funds, which tends to sort out the serious ones. And then when we met Mark, every director here, every shareholder who met him just said the same thing. Wow, his vision, his passion, the fact that he wasn't going to saddle the club with any debt, it was incredible.
I think the fans were so encouraged because they had faith and belief that we would not pass the club on to somebody who wasn't worthy of it. So I think they were confident in that sense. But I think, again, same as myself, there was relief, but also optimism. And that's a feeling we haven't had for a long, long time around Edgley Park. There was real optimism. The club was on its way back.
The numbers and the quality of support, the atmosphere at so many games, away games, home games, whatever, the numbers who travel is just superb. For a club of our position in the league, it really stands out.
And I would say that we make a noise, a right racket. We really appreciate the good times because we know what the bad times look like. We do sing, we do create an atmosphere, we do get behind the team, we do yell our heads off. The next day, sometimes my voice is in a complete state, but I'm happy that we've left it all out there as the 12th man.
It'd be very easy not to be a county fan living in Stockport. You've got two of the top clubs in the country only a few miles up the road. Very, very easy to be a glory hunter and put on your faded blue or your red shirt. But no, people choose to support the team from their own community, and that gives us a real coherence.
Is something very special about Stockport County and very, very special about our supporters, because they have stuck through thick and thin, and you talk about thick and thin, for supporters. And one of the greatest moments for me when we finally got back into the Football League after the game at Halifax, seeing those older fans with tears in their eyes. They never thought we'd get back in the Football League. Alan Ogley, absolute hero from the 60s, he used to come here and we had him as guests on match days, and he used to say, I just hope we can get back in the Football League before I pass away, in his 70s. and to see people like him now being able to enjoy us being back in the Football League, it's everything. And we're a special club with special fans, special sponsors, and we've got some incredible times ahead of us. The journey, or a new journey I should say, is just beginning.